What is it like being a Jamaican in Colombia? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. And today in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Craig Kingston Young, a Jamaican living in Colombia. Welcome, Craig. How are you doing?
Big up. I'm good. I'm good. Muy
Good.
bien too. Muy bien too. Yes, sir. I be trying. I'm starting to think Spanish now. I'm starting to think Spanish now. So sometimes when I speak, I mix it up because I'm like, after a while, like I've been practicing for like 8 months. So after a while, I start thinking like Spanish now, and it's crazy. It's crazy
I
how the
remember because in our pre-conversation, I asked you something and you said, see.
I'm kind of like I be on the phone with my brethren, then I'll be like, see, I'm like, yo, see, I'm like, oh, my bad, oh, because it's starting to click now. It's finally starting to click. When I first moved here, I didn't know nothing, so it's like I'm starting to click now. So it's good though. It's good.
Well, that's good. That's good. So which part of Jamaica you come from? Where you representing?
Brownstone, Orange Hill, big up country living, barefoot, cow, donkey, chicken coop, goat, everything. I'm not gonna lie. If I ever move back to Jamaica, I would move back. I would move back to Orange Hill because like Kingston, Kingston too expensive for me, man. I move back to Jamaica, buy me a plot of land and grow all my thing there. Find me a country gal and grow my thing them and just live my little country life.
Well, you open up the topic. So folks, let me say this first. First of all, I've been following Craig online, and so this interview is going to be a little different. We're going to touch on some topics that I typically don't even touch on because Craig is an open book. He's on YouTube, and his handle on YouTube is Cheap God, and so he travels, and so it's going to be a little different. So he fired the first shot. Him saying when get him a country girl. So him fired the first shot. So Craig, you had a video about dating in Colombia, right?
And you know what? Yeah.
Yeah. So we know you're a single guy that's dating in Colombia. How does this work? Jamaican, the culture. How do they, when you go to a date with a young lady there from Colombia and she hear you're Jamaican, talk to me a little bit before. And folks, I can watch his video on it separately, but I want to hear what I'm have to say about it.
Yes. And what's crazy, when I made that video, I have so much different opinions now. Now that I've been here over a year and a half, because I'm learning. Because before, I didn't know a lot of stuff. But now I know so much about the culture now. I will say, telling somebody I'm Jamaican, they'd be like, oh, Jamaicano. Oh, super. I've never met a Jamaicano before. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. But I think the biggest thing is the culture is different. Like in Colombia, things are a lot different. So like a lot of people here don't listen to reggae music like that. They listen to reggaeton, but reggaeton has changed since it hit Colombia. It's more of a whitewash type stuff here. It's not like how it is in Panama, close to reggae. So I think the culture difference is hard. It's hard for me, honestly. This one woman told me is because I'm big, I have tattoos, and I have hair. They call these rastas. In Spanish, this is locks is rastas. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you don't look like the typical Colombian man." I was just like, "Okay, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel about that." And she was just like, "Yes, unless somebody's family is open to change, like open to somebody that looks different, it's gonna be hard for you to date." And I'm just like, I'm not cutting my hair. Like I honestly, I'm not no lie, dog. I went on a date with a young woman about almost a year ago, right? Woman said, "Why is that on top of your head?" She said, "Why is that on top of your head?" And she was just like, "Why do you have this?" And I was just like, because it's me. And, and I was just like, "Oh, okay." And it was crazy. A lot of women here, I've met a lot of women here that do not like like facial hair and do not like, they like the clean cut baby face 12-year-old boy type face. And I'm just like, all right. But I'm not gonna say like it's getting easier for me because I'm learning a lot more Spanish. When I first made that video, I knew nothing. And then
Okay.
also another thing that I've learned too is that a lot of women here see a certain standard of foreigner. Because when a foreigner move here, I'm not gonna say all, but when most black men move here, they act a damn fool. Like they living in the high-rise apartments, they buying the prostitutes, which is legal here. I don't judge nobody pitting them. They doing the drugs and they buying the bottles in the club and all that stuff. So a lot of women see that and they think that every foreign man that moves to Colombia is like that. So
Mm.
trying to weed out the women that don't see that perception, because I live in a local neighborhood. I live in a black neighborhood. I live in a multi-diverse neighborhood. People say I live in the hood, but I literally live in like a lower middle class type neighborhood. Most of the foreigners that move out here, they move to the high rises and thing them in
Mm. Mm.
Poblado. I didn't
Mm.
move out here for that. I didn't move out here for that. I moved out here to be as local as possible.
I
So,
see.
so it's like I went on a date with a young lady, and when I asked her where we wanted to go, she was like, "Oh, what about this rooftop? What about this rooftop?" And I was like, "I have a question for you. If I was just a regular Colombian man, would you be suggesting a rooftop?" And she couldn't even answer. Junior section, because that's honestly like I don't judge. I'm not gonna watch nobody pocket them. I don't judge nobody pocket them, but I do things differently. I'm the person that rather just sit at a bar, have a drink, and listen to music and stuff like that. I don't need the whole fancy thing because I didn't move here for that.
I see.
I didn't move
So,
here for that. So it's a lot. It's a lot difficult. I would say that's the only difficult part about dating right now.
okay.
That's
Well,
and
good advice. Good advice here. So let's back up a bit. Tell us about your journey in terms of getting there. How did you choose? How did you end up in Colombia?
So basically what happened was I really touch on this journey is really big for me. It's mental health. Back in 2018, um, I tried to commit suicide because of the situation I was in with my job. Living in the United States, I really didn't like what I was doing. And the light bulb just went off. And when the light bulb went off, uh, I was just like, yo, I'm a retired vet, I'm a disabled veteran. I get a paycheck for the rest of my life. Vamos, I'm leaving. I'm gone. So I traveled Asia for about 2 years. About a year and a half, I traveled Asia. I went to Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, went to Indonesia, Bali. Then I went to South Africa. I went to Dubai. I just traveled there around. But I always knew my last stop was going to be the Latin American area because it's closer to Jamaica, closer to the United States if I ever need to fly back to the United States for any reason. It's hard living in Asia. I know a lot of people that live in Asia. It's hard because the time zone, you staying up till 3 a.m. to talk to your friends because your friends are awake. So I was just like, I always knew my last stop would be Colombia. I picked Colombia because Colombia has one of the easiest retirement visas for military. There's no age limit. It's relatively affordable. It's about $200-300, and it's 3-year visa. So I got a 3-year visa here, and then also Colombia has the second largest African diaspora outside of Africa. So it's like Brazil, Colombia, United States. There's more black people here in Colombia than in the United States. So I knew I wanted to move somewhere where I saw people that look like me, And I knew I wanted to live somewhere to where it was close to, if I ever have to jump on a plane and go see family or see friends, I can. And yeah, that's basically it. I like it here. It's cool. It's cheap. Like the reason why my name is the cheap guy, because I travel to cheap countries. I'm not a cheap person, but when it comes to countries that I want to live in, I want to get my buck. I want to get most for my buck. And I'm not here to be paying $30 for a plate of food. Like,
So, so there's so much, because I'm so familiar with your videos, and I'm going to touch on the food in a minute. But before I touch on food, in terms of your journey there, how are the people? What are the people like? And you mentioned there is a large Black population there. What is it like there in terms of the people, the Black population? Is there tension between the Black population and the rest of the population? I know,
yo,
in some places they are. Tell us a little bit about the people
so,
and some of that.
so the people are dope. Not gonna lie to you, the people are nice. They're not used to somebody that looks like me. The white people, the white Colombians are used to somebody that look like me. Big black tattoos, all the things that I will say. I'm in Medellin, which is one of the most developed cities in the country. The blacker cities, unfortunately, because of race and other Colombia. Also, one thing, let me back up. Unfortunately, this is a topic that I've had with a lot of Colombians. Colombians don't believe in race. They believe in classism. They wrap race in a nice bubble of classism and think that racism doesn't exist in the country, but it actually does. The different cities in Colombia, the blacker cities, they are some of the most unfunded by the government. The city right now, Buenaventura, people are currently getting killed there. And Buenaventura is also the only reason why Chinese exports and things can get to Colombia, because the biggest port city. It's also one of the black cities. So it's like people don't want to see, then people just say it's corruption. But at the end of the day, it's actually race. People don't like to talk about race here. But that's when I talk to Latin Americans that actually think about race, they said yes. For some reason, Colombians do not want to think about it. They think if they don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. That's what they think. Not everybody is like that, but it's different, especially here in Medellin. They will brainwash you to think being pro-black is bad. Like when I tell somebody that, when I have a conversation with let's say I had a conversation with a white Colombian one day, and she was just like, "Oh, why'd you move to Boston? That's the barrio. That's the neighborhood I'm in right now." And I was like, "Because I want to see black people." I lived in another neighborhood before that was more of a wealthier neighborhood. It was my first neighborhood when I moved here, and it was I only saw one or two black people a day, not even like a week. And then I moved here and I see black people in the gym. There are black restaurants. There's black barbershops. There's a black bar down the street from my house. And she was just like, I moved here. I told her, I was like, I moved here because I want to see black people. And she was just like, oh, that's racist. And I was like, how is that racist? And she was like, so you don't want to live around white people? And I was like, no, it's that representation matters, and I want to see people that look like me. I feel comfortable around people that look like me. But there is drilled in a lot of people's heads here that when you are pro-black, that you are racist, that you are anti-white. People don't understand. Being pro-black does not mean anti-white. A lot of people don't get that. Even here, even in the United States, everywhere, but especially here, being pro-black does not mean anti-white. I want to see people that look like me. Like the girl I was dating before, she was light-skinned, and she grew up confused her whole life, because here in Medellin, light-skinned women aren't categorized as black. A lot of black people, basically indigenous and black people mixed together, they're not categorized as black either. so the number could be lower. Like my friend was telling me that like Medellin does a census, and 1 year was 500,000 black people here, and then last year was only 250,000 black people. So where the black people went, basically what happened was they stopped categorizing certain looking. No country is perfect, man. No country is perfect.
Right. And
it's just crazy learning so much about race. Like I knew this is my first time living in a Latin American country, so I knew that things were crazy, but learning about it and seeing somebody call me racist for wanting to see my own people. You don't call Indians racist to be around Indians. You don't call Chinese people racist to be around Chinese. You don't call white people racist to be around white people. But you call black people racist who want to be around black people.
Interesting. So on the whole, though, in general, are the people friendly, warm, on a whole?
In my neighborhood, yes. I feel way more welcome in this new neighborhood I'm in. Because the neighborhood I'm in is more of a diverse neighborhood. So the only reason why people are staring at me now is because I'm big, like because I'm muscular. In my old neighborhood, they'll just stare at me because I'm big and black. So like here, like when I go downstairs, there's a tienda, a store underneath my apartment. When I go downstairs, they be like waving at me, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" When I walk down the street, like the dude who sells bananas on the street be like, "What's up?" Like everybody's super nice, because the thing I will say about Colombia is when they start seeing you more, they know that you are serious about living here. As soon as they see somebody, they be like, "Oh, I wonder how long he gonna be here." But now they see me more and they be like, "Oh yeah, that's the big black dude that lived down the street." Okay, yeah. Like I met the dude that owned the black bar, and he was just like, "Yo, I'd see you walk around down the street," and I was like, "I know he's not Colombian because I don't look like a Colombian. Like to them, I don't look like an average Colombian." So people ask me if I'm American or if I'm from Venezuela or something like that, because a lot of Venezuelans here, and I just would be like, "I'm Jamaican." They'd be like, "Oh, America, oh, me gusta Bob Marley, oh, marijuana." I'm like, okay. So, yeah.
Food. Let's touch on food because you are a foodie. I mean, I'm seeing you cook up some meals, on your Facebook page, which again, Cheap God, and curry, and you get basically
last week.
Yeah, just last week.
Last week, because I bought 2 pounds for $4.
Good.
Yeah, man, good. Good.
So,
I've been cooking for a while.
Yeah. So, are you like trained chef or just always cook for yourself?
No, man. I was raised by all women in the country in Jamaica. I was raised by all women with bad husbands. So there was like I was around all women my whole life in Brownstone. My auntie, my aunt Doxy, my great grandmother, and all her cousins, everybody. So everybody was just like, I was the only man around the whole house, and they were just like, "Man, I don't know how to raise no man, but make sure you're not like your grandfather. Make sure you're not like your father. Make sure you're not like all of them. So you must know how to cook. You must know how to clean. You must know how to do all these things here. So you never ask a woman for nothing." I was just like, okay. So I've been cooking since I've been watching people cook since I was about 4. Even when I was in, I still remember the story my great grandmother told me. She was like, "Yeah, when you arrived here, when you came here, and you were sitting down one day, it was like, oh, he be in America a lot. Give him a bottle." And I said, "No, I want yam dumpling and banana." So it's like I've been cooking for a while. So like I just learned from my
From
family,
back way back.
just being around everybody.
So you're not lacking any of your Jamaican food there, really. It doesn't sound that way. You find your ways. You find your ways around that.
I think the only thing I say I'm missing a lot of the seasonings I want, but like I have somebody coming here next week, so I'll be able to get some of the seasonings. All the meats I get oxtail. I found a halal dude here, a black Muslim Colombian that grows his own goats. So I get some goat meat from him. I found sawfish here. Don't know what Colombians use sawfish for, but literally pounds of sawfish. So I get sawfish here. The only thing I'm missing here is kalaloo. No, kalaloo and okra.
Okay.
Okra. I can't find okra nowhere.
So you got to get a little box, and if you have, plant some stuff outside.
Yeah, I'm like, and there's no okra here. And my friend was like, maybe if you go to the blacker cities, they might have okra, but I can't find okra nowhere. That's the only thing I miss, honestly, is okra. I could find everything else
but
here.
Not the okra.
And I have enough curry. I got enough curry and enough browning to last me ever, so it's fine. So I have most everything.
Let me ask you about Colombian food now. What's Colombian food like? And if there's one item you would say, visiting Colombia, you have to try this. What would that be? And what would you suggest, recommend?
Honestly, I'm gonna be 100% with you right now. I live in Medellin. I mean, I like the food here. It's not, Jamaicans, we have our taste buds are built different. We like flavor. If you want to come here to Medellin, I would say try bandeja pas. Oh my gosh, it's a plate of food, a bunch of meat and rice and beans. Bandeja pasta. I forgot how to say it. And it's it's the biggest meal here, and it has chicharron, which is pork belly, steak, plantain, rice, beans, everything like that. And try sancocho. It's soup. It's their soup here. That's good too. But if you come Medellin, go to the Black Caribbean restaurant, to the Black Caribbean coastal restaurants. That food has seasoning and stuff like that. I like seasoning. A lot of people here will argue with me. A lot of non-Jamaicans that live here will be like, no, the food is great and all things like that. And I was like, our taste buds are not the same. That's why, like I have a friend that used to live here. She's from the Caribbean. She's not from the Jamaica. And she was just like, why the food not in the tears? Because people here think black pepper is spicy. Like they think yes, boss. They think black pepper is spicy. Like,
oh boy,
black pepper in food, they think it's spicy, and I was just like,
yeah, they need some scotchy and spice things up.
Kill these people. Kill these people, bro.
Let me ask you this question, because I touched on the coast, and I know there have been descendants of Jamaicans that have trickled down from Panama when they went to build the canal, and they have trickled down to Nicaragua, the Bluefields area, into Colombia. So in Colombia in particular, have you come up on some of these descendants of Jamaica? You mentioned the coast where there's the Black Caribbean. Maybe those are the descendants, and that's why.
So basically, is an island called San Andreas.
I was going to bring that up.
See, I just came from San Andreas. So it's an island, San Andreas. It's off the coast of Nicaragua. So I did my research. Actually, the Dutch brought the first inhabitants of San Andreas were Jamaican slaves. Before the Panama Canal, before autumn, more Jamaicans came, of course, during that time. But when you go San Andreas, it's crazy. It's owned by Colombia, but it is nothing like Colombia. It's
So I
not
so I've
Colombia.
heard, and first of all, it is so far off from Colombia. You're thinking
It's close to Nicaragua.
this should be part of Nicaragua, not
Yeah,
Colombia.
exactly. There's a so I when I went there, I had a conversation. It's so much history. This one little island has so much history, boss. Like so much, like between people fighting to figure out who wants to own them. Like it was like the United States wanted to own them, and then Panama wanted to own them, and then Nicaragua wanted to own them, and they were like, "Oh, we'll stick with Colombia." Like that little island. You could drive around the island in 2 hours. I drove around the island on a bike. You could drive around there in 2 hours. Like you could drive around the island. But the island is so different. Like the people speak Patois.
Right. Yes,
So
I've heard them.
so they speak Patois, but they call it Creole. I don't know why. They call it Creole, but it's Patois. It's English, it's Patois. So
Right.
like if you speak regular English to them don't understand. But when you speak Patois, they understand fully,
A
and they
friend,
speak Spanish too.
a friend of mine said if you speak your, English, standard English,
No,
they won't understand you. But once you talk Jamaican, patois, I call it Jamaican. Once you speak Jamaican to them,
see, they know.
fully, and you have to talk hardcore. You're not the mixing, but hardcore. You
Like
know,
they say, like there was a sign there was a sign on the beach. It was like wash your hand them. Make sure you're picking them, wash your hand. I was just like, how is this like you be wondering like, and then like when you go further south, so I went further south in the island, that's when it gets really like Caribbean, like there's a Jamaican jerk chicken restaurant down there. I had rundown. There was a fete where like somebody pulled up the car and had speakers, and we was listening to all reggae music, vibes, listen to Beanie Man, everything. And I was just like, these people are like it's crazy. And it's crazy. It's like you'll see like dark skin, you'll see like Indian, Chinese, everything like in there just speaking patois. And I was just like, okay. Like it's nice. It's expensive because it's probably the most expensive place in Colombia. Because
mm, right.
it's one of the most expensive places in Colombia. Like it's pricey, but
How
if
long?
you, I
Oh,
did
sorry, go
7 days. Did 7 days there. No, no,
How,
no.
how long
7.
does it take to get there from the mainland? You fly. You have to
Yeah,
fly, right?
it's only an hour and a half from
Okay.
Medellin.
Okay.
So Medellin is deep in the country. So if you're flying from like Cartagena, it's probably like maybe like 30 minutes. Probably like 30 minutes.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, and the language, you say now you're master in the language and so on. How difficult was that transition for you in terms of there? Because I know, for example, I've spoken to other folks and they say, listen, the Spanish that is spoken in different countries are a little different than in other places. Some people mix in their own localized stuff with it. And so, hey, if you are speaking, the Spain's Spanish, it may not translate well.
No work here. Speaking Spanish, no work here. I would say I have a teacher. I go to a teacher 3 times a week, and she's teaching me correct, like grammatical Colombian Spanish. So now that I know a lot of correct grammatical Colombian Spanish, now I'm learning slang because the black people here speak totally opposite from how the white people here. And then if you go to like Choco, which is the biggest black city here, they speak different from the people here. They speak different Spanish from the people here. Like my barber, when he texts me, I don't understand nothing him saying because like he'll text me bits and pieces, like they'll cut off words And it would be like, and I'd be like, okay, so black people are the same just like black people in the States, like they have their own type of language and stuff. But I will say, like, it's been about 8 months right now. I've been practicing for about 8 months, and I feel a lot more comfortable. Things are starting to click more. I could see myself in maybe about a couple more months being a lot more fluent. I just need to speak more outside. I can write, I could read. It's all about the understanding and all about the talking. It's difficult to understand because when people wear face masks, tapabocas, I'm like, okay, like what did you say? And especially on the phone too. When somebody call you on the phone, like it seems like there's always noise in the background, so it's always hard to hear. And I'm just like, all right. So that's the two things me and my teacher are practicing that now.
So, winding down, what would you say was the biggest adjustment, apart from the Spanish, that you had to make when you moved to Colombia?
I would say this for anybody that wants to move, is not thinking people's culture is weird. It's their culture. So I had to adjust to their culture. So like the food in the season. So yeah, the food in the season, so I just cook my own food. I'm not gonna complain about the food, I'm just gonna cook my own food. Being around, like I will say the hardest thing for me right now is making friends. Because Colombian circles are strong. Like trying to get into a Colombian friend group is hard, boss. And then like because I'm always by myself, because I really don't have any friends here, people will look at me like I'm strange because I'm by myself. So trying to get into a group of Colombian friends when you are by yourself is difficult. Because they are like, when I'm telling you, like Colombians don't go nowhere by themselves, dog. Like nowhere. Like nowhere. Like they are always in groups. Like always. So that's the hardest thing for me is that like I've been here almost a year and I really don't have anybody like really solid to be like, yo, that's my friend. Not just saying somebody go to the club and have a drink with, but like, yo, that's my brethren, that's my boss. And like I don't have that. So it's
And
like
it's probably COVID plays a part in it right now too.
Yeah, honestly, well, yes, now everything's open. Medellin open, big open.
Okay.
But yeah, the quarantine did play a big part in that. We were locked up for like 6 months.
Man.
6
Yeah.
months.
So
The only supermarket.
So in terms of attraction, I want to talk about and I know St. Andrews, beautiful, right? I heard beautiful, but is there another place that you would say, or experience that you would say, if you come to Colombia, you must do this, or you must see this? And I know it's a challenge now because we're coming into COVID also, or out of COVID, or still in COVID.
If you come to Medellin, just it's all views. Medellin is green and all views. If you like, most of the time when people come to Colombia, it's Medellin or Cartagena, or Cali. If you come to Medellin, it's all views. If you go to Cali, it's all salsa. You'll love it. After COVID, you must come to a football match here. Football matches in Colombia, like I knew Latin America football matches were crazy, but Latin America football matches like I've never seen something like people before COVID, like craziness. If you come to Colombia post COVID, go to a football match. It will be one of the most fun experiences you ever do. Like I'm telling you right now, you must go to a football match. It's crazy.
All right. So Craig, listen, I appreciate you taking some time to tell us your story and your experience in Colombia. I want you to kind of quickly let people know your handles because you're online. I did mention Cheap God on YouTube. I don't know if I missed anything. I think you're on Instagram
I'm
also.
on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the cheap God. Post cooking videos, like just I'm just a very open person. You could go follow me. More to come. I'm trying to get my mind right to start making more content.
All right.
I just been chilling, enjoying life.
Well,
You know?
good.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, just follow me on the platforms. I'll be around here.
He has some good stuff out there, advice on Colombia. So be sure to check him out. So here is how I typically end. And I know you're learning the language. And if you watched any of the videos, you know. In the most informal way, how would you say goodbye? You know, like in Jamaica, it's a boy, catch you later. You know, say little more my yacht or whatever. And I know that you're in the black neighborhood in Colombia. What do they typically say when it's a goodbye?
Honestly, just be like ciao. Be like ciao and a fist bump. And a fist bump, be like ciao. Like ciao, fist bump, and be like,
all right.
Like háblame más tarde. I'm like, cool.
Wait, háblame what?
Háblame, well, talk to me. Well, wait, no, yes, sí, háblame más tarde. So like, talk to me later. So like, luego, hasta mañana, but like, see, be like, yo, ciao. Be like, everybody when they see that, be like, ciao, like, ciao.
Ciao, like, habla what?
No, just say ciao. Just say ciao.
So let's do the virtual fist bump.
Yeah, man. Ciao.
Ciao.
Show us some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.